Welcome to the Infidelity Doctor channel. My name is Dr. Talal Al-Salim, and this is the Ask Dr. Talal segment. Your place to ask me anything you want to know about affair recovery and affair prevention. Please remember that this is not a substitute for the counseling you're supposed to be getting. This is merely a place for you to get some basic question answered and learn about my clinical insight related to affair recovery and affair prevention. Before we get to the question of the week, make sure that you like the video and subscribe to the channel so that you can get the most recent updates. So the question of the week is as follows. Does watching pornography lead to sexual affairs? So the first thing we need to talk about is recent research shows that pornography viewing is not always a negative thing in all kind of relationship. It can actually be utilized as a tools for increasing and building sexual intimacy between couples. But that's only under very strict parameters, meaning that people are not watching pornography in excess, they're not watching it in secrecy, and they're not relying on it primarily as a tool for enhancing intimacy. So watching pornography is not bad in all situations, that there are some few exceptions which can be a good thing. But also what we need to talk about is that sometimes watching pornography in certain relationship can be considered as a form of infidelity. Because remember, the parameters of emotional and sexual exclusivity that we expect from our partner is going to be different person to person, couple to couple, based on the type of relationship they're in and based on their cultural background, worldview, and many other social factors. There are some relationships in which partners expect that any type of sexual arousal that lead to actual orgasm should be restricted to me and you as the partners in the relationship. It should not be outsourced for somebody else, including pornographic material that you view. So again, the reason I'm talking about this because sometimes watching pornography itself is acceptable in its own versus something that's acceptable that could lead to infidelity. Now let's talk about the relationship between watching pornography and increasing the risk for engage in sexual infidelity. So pornography addiction or unhealthy use of pornography can lead to infidelity in two main factors. One is called the compare and contrast factor. What do I mean by this? For those of you who have watched pornography, one thing that you'll notice that the material that's being produced, it does not reflect real life. It does not reflect the average physical attributes. A lot of it, there's a lot of, Hollywood magic and studio production. So what people see, can be very unrealistic to attain in normal sexual day-to-day life situations. So if you're watching pornography on a regular basis, one of the things that you're going to begin doing is comparing and contrast what you see with what you have at home. When you have this unrealistic, ideal, unattainable level of performance or physical attributes, it's going to create a dissatisfaction with what you have in real life because you're exposed to all this material that you are seeing through the porn websites. And having this dissatisfaction might cause you to wonder about wanting to be with somebody who looks like the people that you see in the pornography, or people who are willing to do the things that you see in the pornography. So that's the compare and contrast effect. Another factors or intersect between infidelity and watching pornography is the fact that the majority of the pornographic material that's being produced, the scenarios are not advocating monogamous sex or sex between two partners in a committed relationship. Oftentimes it's threesomes, orgies, cheating, pizza delivery guy. All of these scenarios does not advocate a sexual scripts based on fidelity. So almost encourage the fantasy of being unfaithful. So again, that would be an additional factor that could cause somebody to entertain and fantasize the possibility about having sexual interactions that are not sanctioned within the confine of the sexual exclusivity expected in the relationship. So these are the two main factors in which unhealthy use of pornography can lead to infidelity. Now, again, there's a lot of people who watch pornography and don't cheat. It just means that how you view pornography, how much you rely on it as a main way versus a secondary way for sexual satisfaction is going to be a contributing factor to amplifying those two main areas of intersect between infidelity and pornography that I highlighted. So hopefully this answered the question of the week. Feel free to leave your comments in the comment section below about the answer that you heard, as well as suggestions for questions that you'd like to see me answer in the future. Until then, be well, be safe, and embrace the possibility for a brighter future. Take care.